family, thank you guys for joining the video for today. Excuse me guys, I have not made any videos for 2 days. It was a bit busy, but here we are again. Let's dig in guys. 2 videos for today. Make sure that you watch both of them because we have a lot to talk about. And here we can see guys, this is exactly why the SEC took action against Ripple, right? This video is very good guys. Listen carefully, because this will show you guys what is really going on. And I've been saying this from the beginning of the SEC lawsuit. We have been saying this so many times. This is all a script guys, because there is no other way that they would sue Ripple and leave FTX. There is no other way. This has to be planned and coming from higher powers, from higher above, right guys, like from people who are really in control of the financial system and they want to change that, right? Let's take a look.
So Ripple and XRP actually did solve a problem, right? And we talked a lot about blockchain at the time as having problem-solving potential, but Ripple actually solved the problem. And that problem was improved into banking messaging. Their bridge tokenized currency, the idea of changing one token from another, really gave blockchain their start as a financial services product. It was the fastest on the market. Transactions were settled much more quickly. It was eco-friendly. It didn't have the overheads that came with the proof of work system. It provided as a kind of bridge currency the liquidity to change currencies amongst each other and the ability to run private side change. This earned it the nickname of the banker's coin, and that kind of made a lot of people not want to look at it because the whole point and premise of crypto anarchy was let's get rid of the banks. So a lot of people were just quick to dismiss Ripple because they just saw it as something that this is the banker's technology, but actually it was a problem that had been solved, and that problem was in banking. Upgrading these interpayment processing systems like SWIFT, which institutions use to move money between each other. They have a kind of four-eyed process. There's a lot of overhead in SWIFT and SWIFT Alliance Lite. The Ripple token and payment processing solved this problem, and Santander utilized it through something called OnePayFX. And actually, the institutions themselves became the very first target market for what this technology could change. And the institutions realized this. They realized we're at risk unless we become obsolete unless we begin to innovate on blockchain, because somebody else will innovate on blockchain, realize that we are dinosaurs in terms of how money markets and money positions move, and they will not use us anymore. And that's kind of what happened really with the Ripple and the SEC, is that they ended up replacing a core part of the financial backbone of the planet, and thus that threatens institutions and brings institutions wrath essentially to the table.
Exactly guys. If you are going to compete with bankers, with the banking system, you are actually asking for a lot of trouble, because these people are in control of almost everything. So you are taking on the biggest enemy that you can get. But there is a thing here guys, because listen, if this technology is really promising, they will not fight against it. No, they will use it to their advantage, right? And that is what is happening now. And a lot of people still think that this lawsuit and all these things are like a problem for Ripple or XRP, but actually they are good, because this will get rid of 99% of cryptocurrencies that are actually not solving a problem. Listen how he was talking about solving a problem. If you want to put your money in something, and this is not financial advice, you want to put your money in something that is solving a problem, always a new problem, a big problem, and this is a $1 trillion problem. So you cannot go wrong with Ripple and XRP, and you have to understand what is going on. Ripple Congress must examine the SEC's role in the recent crypto contagion. With the recent collapse of BlockFi and FTX, the regulation by enforcement approach of the US Securities and Exchange Commission when it comes to crypto has been called into question by industry representatives, policymakers, and crypto consumers alike. Guys, the whole world is watching. They know that this is not fair. They absolutely know, but they need to regulate Ripple because it's good and they will start using it, right? Why do you think they didn't go after FTX? It was very easy and obvious that FTX was not very good, right? It was not that hard, guys, and there were many out there that they could have gone after and won the case easily, which they have done with several cases, right? Why they didn't do that is because They're not interested in that. They don't care about people getting hurt, guys. No, they care about the future. They want to use something. So they want to use XRP. So what do? They regulate it so they can start using it. On the heels of another crypto bankruptcy, did the self-proclaimed top crypto cop make things better or worse? Now, all of these people think that this is all coincidence, that they just didn't go after FTX, or it's some kind of corruption. While corruption is definitely something that is possible, and I'm not ruling it out, guys, but I think that this is all planned. Going according to plan, and coming March, we will see a very interesting turn of stories. At Ripple, where I serve as the general counsel, we have just passed the 2-year anniversary of our ongoing litigation with the SEC to resolve some fundamental questions about the limits of the SEC's jurisdiction, right? And this may end in something like the Congress ruling actually instead of SEC, right? Overruling the SEC because of all these things that happened, which were all planned. We are big friends of the SEC. They don't consider Ethereum a security. They didn't say this about Ripple, and they were clear that they will address these different tokens. Now you have to understand that Ethereum is very different from XRP. XRP is really solving the payments problem. Ethereum is something entirely else. Why they didn't go after after Ethereum, sorry? Because there was corruption? I don't know, guys. It's possible. But I can tell you for sure that they went after Ripple because they understand that this needs to be regulated, and this is going to be the future, and it's going to be used. And they didn't think that about Ethereum.
Talking about the issue about securities. Now, what's your view about where the SEC is now? They've made some, 50-50 kind of shutting some aspects of crypto and blockchain down and boosting other aspects. Where do you sit with SEC statements at this point? And, how are you talking to them, etc.?
So we are big friends and fans of that organization. I think they're really understanding the space well. They are applying this thing called securities law to business in America and other places, as they have done for many decades successfully. They're identifying fraudulent projects. They're identifying obvious transgressions of securities law. But they haven't had a heavy touch, really. They've been gathering information. They've been taking some actions. They've been very clear that they understand there is this new construct, this protocol-based open platform.
So you think they get it?
Yeah, we believe they get it. They've introduced a new construct, decentralization, into their thinking. So in addition to the Howey test, they have this new construct that they're seeing certain things in. So they consider the Bitcoin network and token and issuance mechanisms. They consider the Ethereum network token and issuance mechanisms to be decentralized, and therefore no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be transactions of securities. They have not said the same thing about other tokens, the Ripple token, for instance, and they were clear that they were going to come out with statements to sort of assess these different tokens, and I believe they've made all the statements about decentralization that they're going to make. And so Bill Hinman, Director of Corporate Finance.
So is there any talk of corruption, guys? Yes, it's possible, of course. It's very obvious, right? But there is more. There is more behind this. It's not just corruption. I think they know very well that Ripple is the future. Now you can see here, hey Bill, how many times have you met with Ethereum reps? 2-3 times more, 8-10, more than a dozen few times. So I guess that's just the number of official meetings from your calendar. And this is true, right? Bill Hinman has said some things that are very important to this case. I'm thinking something will be finalized soon. Seems crazy for the SEC to not settle, especially with the current contrast with FTX. Ripple, 10 years of building value and no victims. FTX, incompetence, fraud, and puff of smoke. And who's being sued? See, this is what I'm talking about. You really think, guys, that the SEC is this stupid that they would just not go after FTX, but they would go after Ripple that is solving a problem? It's not like that, right? There is more to this, and it's not just corruption. I think there is way more going on behind the scenes, guys. Interesting market segmentation in July. FOMO Pay Singapore signed with Ripple to use ODL for its treasury management. In December, they became a member of Swift. It makes sense, opens lots of doors, but behind them, ODL is running. Again, another one. more proof that March is going to be very interesting. Ripple wants the Hinman documents made public, right? They do not accept this anymore. They want to see what is in those things, and they want the public, they want the people to also see what is going on. Is Ripple looking to use Hinman's speech? Ripple went on to say that the court's opinion that Hinman's speech would only have limited admissibility at trial was based on an inadequate record. They had not read the documents at the time to formulate or present their arguments that had possible relation to the SEC allegation. Now, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.